Hello guys, this is Flying Flapper and welcome to another video of Gran Turismo Sport. Now we are going to be doing the sport mode race in the form of the daily race C around Bathurst, which is 8 laps with tyre and fuel management on, and we'll be using the BMW M6, which is a car I very rarely use, especially in competitive mode, but a lot of the faster guys do pick this car. So I thought, why not? So hope you do enjoy, guys, and let's get straight into this. Right, so we managed to qualify in second position, guys, with a 2 minute 3.7, 2 tenths down on the pole sitter, the Italian. So this is going to be a very difficult race. We know he's got the pace. So the fuel and tyre management is definitely going to come into place, and I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to do a bit of fuel saving by short shifting the gears and hoping that does enough to do an extra lap or two. So, but depending on what the strategy of the Italian is, I've got a feeling he's going to go full throttle and hit on probably about lap 4, so at the end of lap 4 should I say. So just going up Conrod Straight, we've got a good start. We're just behind the Italian. There's a little bit of a gap between myself and the German in third. So just going up the mountain straight, approaching Quarry Bend, third gear, 80 miles an hour. And up the mount, going through the cutting and through Griffin's Mount and Reed Park, round to Salmon Park, and eventually through to McPhillamy Park. So keeping it nice and smooth as possible. Approaching the S's, tricky part of the circuit, down onto the dipper. You have to take that pretty slowly to keep the car stable, and then down onto the Forest Elbow. So the gap is extending a little bit to myself and the Italian. There's about roughly 1.5 seconds between us. Now, as long as we only lose maybe a second per lap, if he does pit on the end of lap 4, hopefully there'll only be a 4-second gap between us, which I think will be good enough for me to get another lap in, or maybe even 2 laps in, and doing the undercut with my fuel strategy. But we'll see as we finish first lap and start lap 2. So round Hell's Corner and then up the mountain straight, and notice the German is not too far behind, to be honest. Actually he's closing in on me, so again I would imagine he's probably going full throttle and probably going for broke right now. So it's one thing to you know, catch up with me, but there's another to actually pass me, especially through sectors 2 and 3, which we're on now. So, but you can see visibly that gap has come right down. So through McPhillamy Park, keeping it nice and tidy, through the S's and the dipper, which I'd say is probably the most hardest section in the whole of the course. So approaching Forest Elbow, get a nice line out of there, Slightly caught the grass, but we're okay. And yeah, that gap is increasing for myself and the Italian in first. So around about 2 seconds now. Although we do go purple at the end of sector 3. So down to third gear for the chase. This is where my fuel management comes into place on the slower sections. So that's 2 laps down, and look at the gap between myself and the German, very, very close, going into Hell's Corner, and the German runs out wide into the gravel trap. So let's have a look at the replay to see how he's made his mistake. So just going through past the start-finish line, approaching turn 1, and he gets on the brakes probably about 50 yards too late, and he runs him out wide into the gravel trap, and that'll lose him probably about 10 seconds there. So back on board with myself, and just going through Quarry's Bend and approaching the cutting. So just want to stay consistent, and like I say, if we can sort of hit roughly the same sort of time every lap, and the gap is minimal to myself and the Italian, I'm hoping for a good result here. It's been quite a long time since I last got my last win, so you know, another win will be most welcome. But I do actually have a good record around Bathurst. I think 75% of my wins have been around Bathurst, so hopefully the luck will be with me. A bit of Irish luck, maybe. So as we go down to Comrade Straight, hitting speeds of around 170 miles an hour, maybe slightly above. And then braking hard into the chase, third gear, 65 miles an hour. And then power on through, but coming up to the last corner, Murray's Corner, to complete lap 3 and enter lap 4. So we're 3.4 seconds off of the lead now, so it's going to be really tight. It could literally go either way at this stage. So as long as we don't make any mistakes and stuff, then we've got a good chance of grabbing the win, but you know, let's find out. So we go quicker than we have ever done through the first sector. And then coming up to the cutting, take that nice. Now there is a second or so gap between myself and the Spaniard behind. But that's pretty comfortable for me. This should be okay. And like I say, provided we don't make any mistakes, we should be fine. But we see yellow flags. Is that the Italian in front? And indeed it is the Italian. He must have made a major mistake at McPhillamy Park, and we grabbed first place, so we're definitely in the driving seat now. And let's cut to a replay and see what the hell he's done. So on board with Tarek now. We go through Sulman Park, through McPhillamy Park, down Skyline. He goes wide and then hits the wall and does like a 360-degree turn, and that's how we get past him. So we're up to first place, and well, we're definitely, like I say, in the driving seat now, so technically we don't need to go through with this fuel management. I'm not actually sure how many more laps we've got left terms of the fuel we've got left. But it's our race to lose now, so we're just approaching the final corner, Murray's corner, as the Italian decides to pit, coming in from second position. Now I'm going to leave this replay on because I thought the livery that he's put on his car is really cool, as you'll see as he approaches the patient pit crew waiting for him. And pretty sure that's from the era of the David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen F1 era. I think it was like 2000 or something like that, but that's nicely done. And he rejoins in 6th position. So we've probably got about a 40-second gap between myself and him. I think it is roughly anything from, say, 35 to 40 seconds from the pit entrance to the pit exit. So, like I say, it is going to be tight, but we'd like to think we will get out in front of the Italian. So just going through where the Italian made his mistake. Through onto the dipper. So we need to keep our nerve now and try and be as smooth as possible. And then going through before it's the elbow. So far so good. As the fuel message comes up, so this is where I'm wondering, do we stay out for another lap? Or do we go in knowing that we're in the lead? So just approaching the chase. And so it's then we do decide to come in to pit. So we only need 3 laps worth of fuel. And we should have 3 laps to literally put the pedal to the metal and plough on through, but the pit crew waiting for me patiently as we come through. So let's see where the Italian is, and he's just coming up to the final corner at Hell's Corner, so this is definitely going to be tight. So he's just literally coming across the start-finish line as he approaches the turn 1, and you see me come out of the pits, drawing alongside the temporary first place guy. I don't think he's pit, and looks like we have taken him, which is really important as well. Just before the turn 2. So extremely important move there, as we've got one car in between myself and the Italian, so he should hold him up. But we go a little bit wide on the cut-in, which has lost us some valuable seconds there. Going up Griffin's Mount and Reed Park. The car that hasn't pit is still behind me, so this is good news for us. I think the Italian's just got past that car. Indeed he has. So the pressure is on. The heat is on. And there's good probably second between us. So, like I say, the race is in my destiny, and just important now to knuckle down, not make any mistakes. But we can now push to the end of the race. We have filled up for the rest of the race, so we'll see what sort of lap times we can produce. But I'm hoping my quickest pace will be good enough to get the race win, but there is literally no margin for error right now. So just going through the last corner at Murray's Corner to complete lap 6 and start the penultimate lap. So just going through Hell's Corner, taking that nicely. So we'll be looking to hit some 2-minute 4s now. Our current fastest lap was a 2:05.7 in race, but like I say, we was fuel saving at the time. So we have gone purple in the first sector. So just approaching the cutting. So down to second gear, 60 miles an hour up the hill. Going through Griffin's Mounts, Reed Park, probably one of the trickiest parts of the circuit. So as you can see, the gap has visibly come down between myself and the Italian, so it's very important to keep my nerve, not make any mistakes, and yeah, just just keep calm and collected, and hopefully get this win. So just going down the Conrod Straight. This is where I'm a little bit fearful, because the Italian is going to be able to use my slipstream to close the gap. And interestingly, we've gone better in sector 3, but it's not purple, so it's not the best. So it seems like the Italian's on a hot lap. So approaching the final corner, Murray's Corner. And we go across the line to start the final lap of the race. Interestingly, we hit a 2-minute 4.8. The Italian hit a 2-minute 4.2, so he's 6 tenths up on the last lap, and it is basically the last lap shootout, so it's make or break, or squeaky bum time as we call it in England. so going around to the cutting for the final time. We're nice and smooth there. Going through Griffin's Mount, around Reed Park as well. Vitally important to stay smooth. So far we've been smooth, but very nervy times for me now. We've gone purple through the second sector. Nearly lost it at the dipping though, as you saw from that angle, and then through Forest Elbow. You can see how tight it is now. So going down the Conrod Straight for the final time. Interestingly, we've gone purple through sector 3. And then approaching the chase, third gear. Thank God we kept it smooth. So approaching the final turn. And at last we come across the line with the win and the fastest lap time as well, with a 2:04.1. But fair play to the Italian. He put me under pressure the whole race, really. I mean, it was a little bit of cat and mouse, but my fuel strategy did pay off. However, you know, his mistake at McPhillamy Park and the Skyline part did definitely help. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed the race. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content, share with your mates, and I'll see you in the next video.